Hi family, welcome back to my channel. This is Uko and I do career and lifestyle content. We are all talking all things career today, and I want to give tips and recommend a few books on how to manage corporate, how to create a healthy working environment for yourself, for your colleagues, and maybe for like as a manager if you are one, how to improve your work experience generally, like tips that have helped me to find moment of joy at work, to be able to know that work is work, and that's it. Honestly, this video is just all about affirming you that this is just a job, and this is capitalism being a capitalistic system. It's not about you. It's not about you. You are absolutely fine. It's just a job. So yeah, let's get on it. So for those who don't know my career journey, I am currently a second year psych article trainee at a top company, a private sector. I work with a variety of professionals. Obviously I'm in the accounting department. For those who don't know what is to be a psych trainee, I'm in training to become a chartered accountant, so I work a lot in the accounting department. But because I'm a trainee, I am actually rotating to other departments. So currently at my company, I get to work with engineers, I get to work with commercial project managers, I get to work with people who do finance, people who specialize in tax, and the most different sector that I work with is engineers. To be honest, I don't work directly with them, like I'm not like a plant engineer in anyhow, but I support their functions. I support, like when I rotate, I also work with IT, but it is like a very like small IT department that we rotate to, and I report directly to my manager, and I work with people from other countries. I've been exposed to Nigeria, Ghana, Angola, Ivory Coast. I've been exposed to quite a lot of different countries. I think also Portugal. Yes, I've been exposed to Portugal because our Angola team reports to Portugal, and I have rotated to work in Angola. So those who like follow the channel, you would have seen that I have shared a journey where I went to Angola. I was doing a rotation where I rotated to work with my colleagues in Angola. This is tonic water. I'm at a stage where I enjoy drinking tonic water, and it's good. I just like it. It's just tonic water with nothing. And yeah, so I want to share this, like how do you get to improve your work experience? One of the good things about being a psych trainee is obviously the rotating to different departments and just seeing how different people work differently, and how do you like manage all these different people at such like a high-paced environment. I also work with actually my current manager in my current my current manager in my current rotation is from Germany, and it's been very like nice to work with the team that is in Germany, with someone who's working from Germany, just to get their feeling, their experience of like the work experience. I'm really enjoying her management skills, how she manages, and she's one of the people who inspired me to shoot this video because she's really good at being a manager. And my other managers, they're not as good as her yet, or I haven't been exposed to some people. So yeah, guys. And the other thing is that as much as I'm currently doing my psych articles, I have worked in outside of like trainee articles, like psych articles. I have worked at a retail store, a retail head office. So that was my other corporate job. And I have also worked in a small accounting firm where I was a bookkeeper. So I think I have a bit of an experience to talk more about like how to improve your work experience as an employee and how to do better as a manager. So yeah, that's just the background so that you guys can have an idea why am I speaking about this, or why do I think I can speak on this topic. Okay, so I have like a few tips that I've written for myself so that I don't lose track of what I'm talking about, and I'm able to be as concise and as clear as possible. By the way, I did a channel update. If you haven't watched that, please go watch my channel update. It's the video before this one. So yeah, let's get on it. So how to manage conflict and how to improve your work experience, like how to create a really good working experience for yourself and maybe for your other colleagues at work. First things first, guys, please be kind, be loving, be generous, like extend grace at work. Be as kind as possible. Be willing to help. One of the things of like being a kind person, it's being willing to help. And when you're willing to help, you need to be very clear on not to overextend yourself, but have chances or like times where you're extending yourself a bit. One of the reasons why also it's important to be willing to help is because one day you're also gonna need someone to help you. So you want to create a really good community of people who are able to work with you and who are also willing to work, like who are willing to help you, because one thing about corporate, you will not know everything. And if you're someone who's new in the job space, just be willing, be like the kind person, be loving, be generous, extend grace. And by being generous, I don't mean that like give people money. That's not generosity. Like being generous in a sense that if someone says, let's go grab lunch, just maybe walk with them. Don't be very stuck up. Don't be like very like too much in your corner. Explore people, like be kind in that way, and be loving. Like being loving, it's like being able to hold a conversation with someone. And even if like you're a very like shy person, I'm very shy, but I really try to be like to be out there at work and to talk with other people. So the first thing that you can be, what can help you to be able to be kind, loving, and generous at work is to constantly greet people. Greet people, ask them, how are you? That's how people get to know you. They get to notice you. You can start asking them like which department they work in. And because I'm a psych trainee, in my current job, I rotate to every department. So you really never know who's going to be your next manager, or who you're going to report to, or who's going to train you. So like being loving, kind, and generous can really help you, because people are not going to see you like as a very fussy person. They'll say, oh, she's like a nice lady, and that's it. Socialize. Please learn how to socialize at work in the right way. So I say here, socialize and share your life to be for like a sense of relatability. People need to be able to relate with you outside of like your job. People must know that, okay, obviously you studied accounting, that's clear because you work in the accounting space, but at least like be able to tell people that like you went to university at this institution. Like share your life a bit, share with people like who you stay with, like be open a bit, but have restrictions. Personally, I've never experienced any negative implications of like sharing my life, and I'm generally an oversharer. Like I overshare, but it helps me to be able to see people beyond their corporate job. Because I'm an oversharer, I get to relate to people about other things, and when they reprimand me about my job, I am not that offended, because I don't want these people to really like me based on my job, because I know that I'm here as a trainee, I'm being trained. Obviously, I do mistakes, I do things wrong and incorrect, but I'm able to keep the connections because I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm generous, and I overshare. Yeah, oversharing can be good in some situations. It's not always bad. And I think obviously for me, it helps me in the sense that I get to separate the person from the job because of these interactions. So create these interactions to be able to see the person in two characters, or to give the person two identities. And if you do the top 3 things that I just mentioned, it will enable you or allow you to have empathy. Please show empathy at work. Everyone is there because they need a salary. More than anything, we need a salary. We want to create a good working environment for ourselves. Your manager is doing her job. She can be tough on you, she can be horrible on you sometimes, but she's just doing her job. Please forgive her. Like, have empathy. Just know that everyone is trying their best with what they have. No one is like a superpower, so show empathy. If people maybe you have a senior or you have like a colleague who's like has days where they act weird, please show empathy in a sense that maybe it's like a tight deadline, maybe they really want the work to be done in a certain way, like they being serious about this, and this is why they're coming at you in a obviously professional. You will know when someone is coming at you in sideways, or when someone is trying to reprimand you so that you're like a good employee. If you show empathy to your colleagues and you are understanding of their situations, you make the work experience so much better. When people are being unkind to you, show empathy in those situations, and you will actually realize that people are just going through things that you are not even aware of. And also ask questions within reason. Don't stay, okay, I think these are now more of your typical how to manage work and how to improve your work experience. Please ask questions, but within reason. Don't be that person who's always asking questions. Don't bore us during team meetings, but ask questions within reason. Think about your question. That's one thing I think my first year of articles taught me. My senior colleague would always just be like, what do you think? And this actually made me be very critical of my questions, because she would always ask me if I'm asking her a question, she'd be like, what do you think? And I started realizing that my questions were actually coming from a sense of lack of confidence. I wasn't confident with my work, and I would ask her stupid questions, and she would come at me saying, what do you think? When she asked me what do I think, that actually enabled me to think about my job, to think about why am I asking this. So ask questions within reason, and don't always ask when it's not necessary. Just know when you really need to get an answer, and when you know that you actually can't figure this out. The other thing about asking questions is that the quicker you ask the question, the quicker you get the work done. And this was one of my work first year experience, which I want to share about it, is that I took really long to ask the questions in my first job. In my first job working, I was always so frustrated because I was struggling to figure things out. And in my current job, in my first few months, I was struggling with the system more than anything. I was constantly feeling I just want to go into the accounting, the standards. But now, after a year and few months being in the company, I've realized that the quicker I ask, the better things move, and the clearer the clarity becomes, and I get to do things quicker. So please ask questions. Do not personalize your work. This is work. This is just a job. It's not about you. People are going to tell you that your margins are not fine, and it's okay. Don't think it's about you. It's not a character flaw, but it's really about your Excel report. It's really about your PowerPoint presentation not being nice. So it's okay. You are a good person. You are very kind. You are very loving. And to avoid personalizing your work, please have other things to do besides work. I know this is very controversial, because this is probably your first time job, and this is your first year. You really want to be good at your job, and you want to excel in everything. But I'm sorry to tell you, you won't excel in everything at work. There are people who like certain things to be in certain way, and because they're your managers, or because they are your leaders or your seniors, you will have to do it how they do it, or how they prefer it. Even if yours is better, even if yours is functional, it's not about you, it's about them. Please don't personalize work. Always try to give yourself a good self-talk as quickly as possible, so that you don't carry the energy of whatever negative feedback you've received. So it's not about you, it's about them. And if you're someone who's a manager, when you are giving someone feedback of their work, please be kind, please be loving, show empathy, but also don't personalize it to be about them. Just tell them in a very professional way that I would like you to improve on this, on this, on that. And the one thing my manager likes to do, she would always say that, you guys are good, you guys are amazing. I wouldn't have hired you if I did not think you are capable of doing the job. But I just want certain things to be done a certain way. She has that thing, Kori. She is extremely intelligent, and she's right. She's very smart. And because she's very smart, she wants things to be done a certain way, and her way is always correct. I know you might think you have the best way, but most of the time, your seniors are really correct. So that's one thing I could say, is that don't personalize your work. It's really not about you. And don't personalize frustrations that your manager might have at you. It's not about you. Even if you think it's about you, it's not about you. Everyone should be professional at work, and if they're not professional, that's their problem. That is their problem, honey. Please do not personalize it. It's not about you. After work, try to get a you time where you spend time by yourself and just be free. The other thing is that your manager is employed. I've worked for one of my first jobs was working for startups. I've worked for a few startups, and people who are CEOs of the company or who are co-founders of the company, they are very strict. They can be extremely social, but at the same time, they will come for you. They're capable of switching at you like this. Please know that this is their company. They are creating, or they want a certain quality of work, and they expect that quality of work from you. So you need to keep up. And people who are your managers, in a big corporate, please know that those people are actually also employed. They also have a manager who they report to, who might have a different character to them or to you. So when your manager sometimes is talking to you, they're not talking to you because they want to be tough or difficult. Just understand that they are also employed at the company, and there are certain KPIs that they must meet. There are certain requirements that they need to fulfill. So it's really not about you. And because it's not about you, please remember that they are also employed. This is a job. And because it's a job, guys, at the end of the day, computers crash, people die, but we still need to do our jobs because we are employed. You are under a contract. Please abide with your contract. Please be a diligent employee. Be really good at what you're doing. And if you're not good yet, because in first year you will struggle to being good, aspire to be a good employee. Be willing to give off your extra 20 minutes. Don't be the first one to leave the office, but also don't be the last one to leave the office. You need to have a good balance. Some days you can be the first one to leave your office, but some days be willing to stay the extra 10 minutes, 20 minutes of just socializing with people or talking, whatever. Be those people who are available. And how to manage conflict. I've had conflict at work once. This is a tough one. How do you manage conflict at work? Please apologize quicker. Apologize quicker. Go back to the person quicker. Have a jokey way of interacting with people. It's tough to manage conflict at work, but the first tips that I've just given you guys, it's actually ways on how to avoid being in conflict. The time where I had a conflict at work, I had hoped not to get into it. I was just I wish I didn't go through that experience. And the person actually made me cry because they were just being hostile towards me, and I just felt like I did not deserve to go through that. But I reported them to my manager. I told my manager that this person treated me like this, and it was a tough day. And my manager was just very much no, you did not deserve to go through that. That's not what I expect. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And the one thing I'm grateful for is that at work, my colleagues, my people, they're very kind. As much as it can be very tough, my job is tough. like it's hard, but my colleagues are kind people. They are loving people. Like they will nourish you, they will nurture you, like they are nurturers. And it's all women. Well, we have a guy now who joined our team, but my colleagues are nurturers, and I love that. I see it in them. I can hear how they talk about themselves around their families. I am able to socialize with them outside of work, in a sense that like they tell me about their families, and I get to see how much they are nurturers, how much they are happy. So yeah, man, being kind does help with knowing those things. And in terms of like managing conflict, be very clear on what's the issue quicker than you would like. See the issue, because if you don't see the issue, then the thing drags longer. So apologize quicker, check on the person first. I've had other conflicts at work, but these conflicts were with my other colleagues in other departments. I managed them so much better compared to my first conflict. These conflicts did not even get to a stage where they became conflicts. I just spoke about them quicker. Like I would tell my colleague that, oh, how are you today? And I'm like, oh, it's a tough day. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry that I'm gonna disturb your day further. I'm gonna ask you to do this. So I just find a way of like how to be jokey with my colleagues about the job, and also how to like, on their bad days, I wouldn't try to get onto them, but on their good days, I'd always go back to talk about the thing. So just managing conflict requires you to show empathy and also just be kind. I had a point where one of my colleagues stopped talking to me for some time, and I kept trying to talk to him because we needed to talk about the project, and he was just not budging. And then I jokingly said that, how much must I pay you to talk to you? Like, do you need to send me your like rate card or something? And she laughed about it, and he came around. When he came around, I did not try to ask him, Gori, what's going on? Why were you so moody? Blah, 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 blah. I just moved on, because at the end of the day, this is a job. I need to make sure I get to him to get the job done. So as much as these tips are not very clear on how to manage conflict, but they can help you to ease tension at work, to avoid having the tension at work. And if you have the tension, just be willing to apologize quicker. Be kind, man. I don't know how to say it, because even in real life, I really struggle with like conflict management, but I'm getting better. Like now what I do is that I try to get to a point where we don't have to fight. But in reality is you won't always get away with that. At some point you will have to like manage conflict, and I know that some managers are not the nicest people out there, and I'm really sorry that you guys will be going through such people. Just remember, everyone has their demons, and people carry their demons outside. You need to leave your demons at home, please. This is actually my other tip on how to improve your work experience. Leave your demons at home, really. The other thing that I do that actually also allows me to have like a really good work experience, when I go to the office, I listen to worship. Worship like lifts me up. It lifts me up. It gives me a good mood. It makes me know that God is with me. God loves me. Everyone loves me. Like I'm a good person. I'm amazing. I'm great. So that actually is how I live my demons at home, and I go to the office with good energy. And for me, also like working out in the morning, I have happy emotions that are released. So I'm always happy in the morning, and I'm generally a morning person, and I'm always happy at work in the morning. And until the day starts, where work becomes hectic, it becomes a tough day. But I soldier on, and I constantly just try to talk to my husband sometimes to be like, work is frustrating. And he would always say, baby, push, baby, don't give up, baby, like it's gonna be good, it's gonna be great. Like he will always just give me that energy. And I'm here to say that if you know there's someone in your life who can give you that energy, always update them. They'll make you feel good about work. And sometimes I talk about work with my friends who also give me good energy. So always have like people who can give you the energy that you need to get through work. And I fully understand that we will experience difficult working environments. It happens, and I'm really sorry about that. But one thing that my aunt shared with me is pray for your managers. Like pray for the people who are leading you to have to have grace and to be loving, to be kind. I always pray that God, please allow me to be teachable. Please, God, enable my manager to be the best trainer that I would have ever received. Give her the strength, give her the wisdom to correct me the right way. Please give me strength and wisdom to be able to receive correctness, to be able to be led like rightly, like righteously. I pray for those prayer items because you never know. Like, people can have their demons and they can like push their demons to you. They can make you like, they can want you to be a horrible person. And the other big thing I could say is that as you pray about your work, pray for strength and pray for courage. One of the things that I've learned in my corporate jobs is that I would give myself a time frame that this is like my job for the next 2 years or like 3 years, and I'd be like, I need to go through the growing pains. These are the growing pains. Like, it gets tough every time I rotate like a function. It gets really tough because there's always like that tension of like not knowing what's happening, not understanding. And I always tell myself, it's not easy to learn. It's not easy being in a new department. It's not easy to learn new people. I need to get through this. I need to get through this. And this would happen for the first 2 months of me starting a new department. And then after that 2 months, it gets better. So I'm also here to say that it gets better. You will feel better. Eventually, you're going to be confident. Eventually, you're going to know what's expected of you. You will know what you need to do to be able to get to the person, but you need to go through the growing pains. And the growing pains are not nice. For you to grow, you unfortunately need to go through the fire, and the fire will be so harsh and so hard, but you're going to get out of it stronger and better. You are being trained to be a future senior, to be a future CA, to be a future manager, to be a future leader of the company. You could become the CEO of the company. So please be diligent, be disciplined, be kind and loving. Love your people, love other people, be generous, speak to people. Don't class people. Obviously, please don't do that at work. Work is for you to get through it. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who's going to make your best word. And just socialize. If they have challenges at work, people are taking steps, challenges. Take those steps, challenges. That's you socializing. People get to know you better. And this is me coming from the least extroverted person. I'm really an introvert. I'm so introverted. I'm so laid back. I don't talk quickly, but when I talk, I try to talk and I try to be as interactive as possible. So I hope these tips help you. If you know someone who is very frustrated at work, who doesn't know how to improve their work experience, please share this video with them. It might really help them, and they might realize that it's not about them, it's the job. It's not them, it's the job. Sometimes the job is tough, guys. You know how corporate works, ne? The job is really tough. You are not imagining things. You are not stupid. The job is just tough. The job is just, you guys are understaffed sometimes. That's what happens a lot in my departments. You're understaffed, you're overworked. This is capitalism being capitalistic. I'm so sorry, but you'll get through it. You'll be stronger. Learn what you need to learn and enjoy. So guys, as we one of the things that have actually helped me to improve my work experience is actually these 2 books. This book, Stoic at Work. I bought this book at Exclusive Books in Namibia. This book has really changed my perspective. I get to understand my manager so much better. And this one, Intelligence Isn't Enough. This book reminded me about why I need to socialize a bit more in corporate. Your intelligence is not enough. You could be the smartest person in the room, but if people don't know you, if people don't have an understanding of who you are, they will not choose you. They are not going to interact with you in good spirit as they should. So your intelligence isn't enough. And the Stoic at Work, this book actually just made me understand work better. It's one of those books that tells you this is just a job. You are employed. And because you're employed, you need to work. It just reminded me that it's not an easy read. I did not finish this book, but it taught me, the first few pages that I read taught me something. And yeah, I'm going to read something that they say here at the back. It says, life and work were never meant to be easy, but they should be fun. And the best way to make them fun, perhaps paradoxically, is to become a stoic. And this superb guide takes you there. And this is the review by a CEO of Share, well, former CEO of BHP and a chairman of Shell. And then the summary, I'm reading the back guy's name. It says that you are in a meeting from hell that has already run 15 minutes over. When a co-worker asks a nonsensical question about paradigm shifting, a value proposition, you sit in silent. Ferry hopping a mob of emus will take them down. As another half hour ticks by, which was meant to be lunch, you start to wonder, how on earth did I get here? Nearly 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius faced similar frustrations as Roman emperor, and his timeless meditations on human behavior showed that not much has changed in the workplace. He understood that some things are within our control and others are not, and realized that we have power over our own minds, but not outside events or other people's actions. You have power over your own mind, but not other people and events or other situations. And this is why I keep saying that it's just a job. It's not about you. In Stoic at Work, Annie Lawson offers modern rules based on ancient wisdom that aim to help anyone with a job manage the mind games, the meltdowns, and the disturbing reality that we must work until we die. With a little Stoic inspiration, it is possible to transform work from a place of irritation to a place of joy, or at least a place that is a bit more tolerable. Yeah, that's the word. So this is the, like at the back. So it says here at the front, Stoic at Work. Stoic is basically just ancient wisdom to make your job a bit less annoying. Yeah. And it says it has a code that says, I need to schedule a Zoom meeting with the whole world to tell them how good this book is. And this is the review by Chris Taylor, The Chaser. This is the book Stoic at Work, and it's by Annie Lawson with illustrations by Oslo Davis. Loved it. I really love this book. Like, it just says that you can enjoy your job a bit more. Like, you can, it's not about you. And these are my tips. I read them at different times of my working experience, but I always go back to this one. Even this year, because now this year it's a bit tougher. Like, being a senior is tough. I need to read this book until I finish it, actually, because work is tough. And this one, it just says here at the back, this book should be part of every corporate onboarding program. It will empower every new entrant to the world of work with power skills to help them succeed. And that's a review by the Human Capital Director of Old Mutual. And the summary of the book says that having worked for over 17 years with top companies in South Africa and abroad, Karis Anderson, a professional development manager, coach, and consultant, shares her insider knowledge while also shedding a light on the harsh realities of corporate environments. Shedding light on the harsh realities. Corporate is not meant to be nice. Drawing on her years of experience in research, the author argues that many young Black professionals struggle early on in their careers as they lack the necessary soft skills to successfully navigate their work environments and reach their full potential. So as Black professionals, we lack the necessary soft skills to successfully navigate the work environment and reach our full potential. She is right. Including advice and anecdotes from 30 successful Black leaders who have worked across Africa, Europe, North America. Intelligence isn't enough. aims to empower young Black graduates who have just entered the workforce and Black professionals already at work. Anderson guides readers on how to survive and thrive in corporate spaces, how to take a more strategic approach to their careers, and how to understand themselves and others more deeply. In addition, the book provides useful tips on how young professionals can strengthen their workplace relationships, sharpen their communication skills, improve their personal brands, and ultimately make an impact. Intelligence Isn't Enough is the Black professional's guide to standing out and showing up at your best self and your most authentic self at work. These are the books that have helped me so far, and I want to go back to reading this one. I need to finish this book. I have finished this one. I really liked it, and to an extent, I felt like I couldn't really apply everything that I learned in this book at my current job because it's not like a big corporate. This job is good for like your JSE listed companies, like your proper corporates, because based on what I've heard from my friends, how they speak about their job experiences at like your big banks and all of that, these books make sense. At my job, it's a bit relaxed. It's not as hectic, like we're not as hectic on KPIs and all of that, but this book is still very useful. So obviously you need to read the book with context, like understand your context, understand what's happening around you. And the other thing is that the lady, she used to work at McKinsey, like the writer of this book, she used to work at McKinsey, and like she has worked in the top big like JSE listed companies, like your top 40 companies, and I am not working for a top 40 company, so my company is only listed in Germany. So those are the like differences. So some things are not applicable, but this one is just general. This one is just like based on ancient history, on just how you're not gonna enjoy your job, and that's it, but you can tolerate it better. That's what this book is about. This book allows you to be able to implement what is said here. And also because this book, it has a very much of like an extrovert character. I think I'm glad I don't work for like the big companies, because I wouldn't be able to implement this book. Like if I work for, like, it's so hard, man, because I'm so introverted. I'd obviously force myself at some point, but yeah, it's tough. Like it's tough. And at my work, we don't have as many social events as they talk about here, but yeah, so I'm just giving you guys context on how these books have helped me, but they've changed my perspective. They've enabled me to enjoy work better. They've enabled me to be a better employee and to understand my managers better, to have grace, to have empathy, to be kind, to be loving, and just to be a free person from the chains of corporate. Thank you so much guys for watching. This is the end of my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with anyone who you know is in corporate and how they can improve their work experience. Bye.